So I wanted to share like some of the thought process that goes into writing my what ifs, because I think this is kind of an interesting a question that I would like to share with y'all, and I would like to hear y'all's opinion on what you think, okay? And the question is, are events predestined to happen, or is everything a delicate balance of cause and effect? And this is what I mean by that. Obviously, in Wings of Fire, we have the canon timeline. I'll call it that, right? We've all seen the time travel movies now. But we've got our canon timeline where the big things happen. You know, you have the Dragonette Prophecy, Thorn, Jade Mountain Academy, the Darkstalker, all like the big plot beats. And the question is, in a world where things change, like in my what ifs where I change things, which of these events still happen? Are they predestined? Are there multiple paths that lead to the same outcome? Or is everything a product of the exact way that events coalesced to form that situation, if that makes sense? And I think the answer that I lean toward, at least in my what ifs, is certain events are predestined. Maybe predestined is the wrong word, but certain events are more likely. I'll put it that way. In a lot of my what ifs, you might have noticed, and I think part of it is just when I write AUs, not even like for Wings of Fire, other stuff, whatever. When I write AUs, my favorite thing is to put in little Easter eggs of like nods to canon. And so with my what ifs a lot, I like to do things like, you know, when I have what if the Dragonettes grew up in their home, like I'll have them end up meeting the other Dragonettes of Destiny anyways later down the timeline. Because for me, that's one of the things that is like a quote unquote predestined event. Like that is just something that happens for me. Or there's things that happen, like with the prophecy, when I've written alternate responses to the prophecy, there are certain plot beats that I like to replicate in every story. And that can get kind of boring, I feel like, but it's all about how you go about it. Like, it's how many paths can be so different but lead to the same outcome. And I think that's a really interesting idea to explore. Now, on the other side of the aisle, and much more difficult to write, is the idea that everything is a delicate balance of the exact things happening at the exact time in the exact way with the exact people. And if you change anything, you change everything. And that is kind of the other side of the coin when you come to like time travel / alternate universe type stories. And the reason I tend not to do this is because it's a utilitarian reason. It's a lot harder. This is not a 5-10 minute video idea. This is you'd have to either do a very inexact overview of a storyline, or it would have to be you'd have to rewrite the series. So that's why I tend to have a lot of recurring plot beats in my what ifs, where things sort of follow the same path or end in a similar place, even with very different means of getting there. Because I do not want to rewrite the books. It's fun to change elements and see how you might get to the same place by different means. But I'm not out to write a whole Wings of Fire book. I'm writing other things. I have lots of writing projects going on. I've only got so much writing brain available to me. But I just think it's an interesting thought. So I'm curious what y'all think. Do you think, like, if you were to write a what if, would you tend toward certain events are predestined / likely to happen regardless of how you get there? Or would you tend more toward things that happen because of exact circumstances, and if you change that, you change everything? So I want to hear what y'all think. Thank y'all for watching, and have a good day.